Hey guys, my name is Alexi. I'm with Remax Performance Alcohol Mortgage, top agent in Harrisonburg, Rockingham County. I do about 40 transactions a year, and about half of those are buyers. And today we'll talk about top 6 buyer misconceptions, and I'll give you a bonus one at the end of this video. Let's talk about the first one. So the first one is the biggest one that I think is the dumbest one, honestly. You need 20% down to buy a house. That's just simply not true. 20% down is great. If you have that, amazing. You can put down as low as 0 if you're getting a USDA loan, or you can put down as low as 3.5% for an FHA, about 5% for a conventional loan. So again, check how much money you have. Don't put everything into the house. Of course, I'm not trying to tell you to go house broke, but you might not need as much money as you think. Number 2, working directly with a listing agent is going to save you money. Probably not. And here's why. Well, first one, if you're working with a buyer's agent, they're working for you. If you're working with a listing agent, they're working for the seller. So they're not representing you. They're not going to lie to you directly, of course. Well, they might, I don't know, but they shouldn't. But their whole goal is to get seller the best possible terms of the deal and the best possible price. Us as agents, we do, as I said, 40 transactions a year. So I've seen things. As a buyer, people buy in America transact about every 7 years. So you have maybe bought 1 house, maybe 2. Rely on your agent's advice on things, especially for the negotiation. You can negotiate not only price, you can negotiate terms, you can negotiate furniture. There's so many things that involve into making a deal happen that you just might not know, or you might not even know the paperwork that is required. Not always that's going to save you money, and in the long run, using a buyer's agent is probably going to save you money. Number 3, if bank gets you pre-approved for $500,000, you should use the whole $500,000. As an agent, it serves me to tell you yes to do that, but it's not a smart financial decision. Make sure you can afford the payment on it, because when bank looks at what you can afford, they look at debt to income ratios. And what that means is they look at your liabilities, meaning like car loans and other student loans and stuff like that, and kind of see if you can qualify for something. Now, let's say they don't know that you send $1,000 to your mother every month. That's for you to know, and that's for you to make sure you're not going house poor. Don't do that. Not fun. Not fun for me. Not fun for you. Not fun for anyone. Number 4, down payment is the only cash you need upfront. Not necessarily true. There are also closing costs on loan. So let's say you're getting an FHA loan. You have a 3.5% down, and then you have about 2 to 3% closing costs. So keep that in mind. Now, here's a cool tip for you. If the property has been sitting on the market for a while and nobody bought it, and you're trying to buy it as a buyer, you can a lot of times have seller cover some of your closing costs, if not all. So again, and that's where the agent comes in. Make sure you mention that to your agent, but make sure you have that extra on top of the down payment, just in case you need to find the perfect property and the seller doesn't want to cover the closing costs. Number 5, you should wait until you get the exact interest rate you want. Now, don't get me wrong. It needs to make sense. Don't go for a house if the rates are 8. It's one of those where at this current market, that would not be sustainable. That would be really expensive. But here in America, you can renegotiate or refinance your rate in the future. You can lock in now with an ARM, let's say, maybe with a 30-year, but lock in at, let's say, 7%, and start claiming that appreciation on the asset, which is really nice. Now, again, if you're overpaying, don't do it. But let's say in 5 years, you're going to refinance. When you refinance, you're going to drop your payment, but you already have all that equity. So the refinance is going to cost you something, of course, but you're going to have a lot more equity than the refinance is going to cost you. I did that myself. Bought a property for $270 with an 8% interest rate. A couple years ago, crazy. The rates were super high. I was like, well, I'll just refinance in the future. Year and a half passed. A refinance costed me $5,000. I dropped my rate to 6%, dropped my payment by almost $400, and my townhouse went from 270 to all the way to 295. So I just gained, do the math on that, 25K. So 20K into my pocket of equity. If I waited till the rates dropped to 6, I would not have that 25K. If I was, let's say, living in rent, I would have paid a lot of money in rent. And also, not sure if you know this, interest on the house that you paid, you can write it off. And here's the sixth one. Waiving the home inspection is the best way to win a bidding war. Yes and no. When you have a cash offer with no inspection and offer with financing and an inspection and a lot of other things, yeah, they're probably gonna go the other way. But there's also terms. For example, you can offer, you don't have to do concessions on the price or the home inspection. But let's say you do a home inspection, the other offer does home inspection, but you tell sellers, hey, I'll give you a week to move out. They're gonna go, heck, that's really worth our time, because if not, we're gonna have to either do it before and try to move into our new place and figure it out from there. Or you tell them, hey, we'll give you a week, and they might go for your offer. So waiving a home inspection is for sure not always the best case, and you're also opening up yourself to liability. Sometimes you gotta do it. Not gonna lie, sometimes I told people, I'm like, hey, there's not really much we can do, but that, if you want it, you gotta have to do it. If you don't, viewer discretion always. Make sure you inspect stuff that you buy, but that's the reality of things. And the bonus one, you gotta have a perfect credit score to get a property, and that's not true. Your credit score doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be 800. You can qualify for a lot less, again, viewer discretion. Make sure to check with the lender. If you wanna check in with me on the specific program you wanna use, I also have a mortgage license. But you don't have to have a perfect credit score. Credit score matters, but not as much as your income to debt ratio. So always make sure to check with a professional before making any assumptions on like, oh shoot, I can't qualify for a house. A lot of times you might. This is Alexi with Remax Performance and Alcova Mortgage. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, or if you fell for any of these, put them in the comments below so others don't. And if you have any other video suggestions for me, drop them down in the comments. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.